In the Championship, Hull City and Stoke City continuing their pursuit of Premier League football in a league where the cliche is it's a campaign which is more of a marathon than a sprint. Stoke burst out the blocks before hitting the buffers in recent weeks, and it's Hull who have moved quietly into a very strong position in the chasing pack as they aim to end a 9-year absence from the top flights.
Here's the team for the Tigers. In goal, number 1,
we are almost all set to go. The pre-match handshakes as Hull City, led by their captain Louis Coyle as ever. Well, their team shows 2 changes from the side that won so impressively against Middlesbrough a few days ago. Liam Miller and top scorer Ollie McBurney come into the 11 in place of the injured Ryan Giles and Joel Ndala, who drops to the subs bench. Some issues for Mark Robin to contend with, though. 6 changes from the side that started their defeat against Sheffield United. Perhaps the most significant of those comes in goal. Victor Johansson, an ever-present since his arrival from Rotherham, is out with a shoulder injury. Tommy Simpkin, recalled from loan from Leyton Orient, comes in for just his 2nd Stoke appearance. Talavierov, Rigo, Bay, Cisse and Bozanic are the others to come into the Stoke City 11. So a big day for him, Ben.
Yeah, massive day. You know, he's only made 1 appearance for Stoke prior to this, and having been out on loan in League 2 last season, doing really well at Walsall, it's a big day for the boy. And, you know, as you say, he's been out on loan at Leyton Orient this season as well, and is a massive surprise to see, especially for the Hull players.
And he'll be looking to keep him out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ollie McBurney, this season, his numbers are phenomenal. You know, he's come on a lot of games and he's scored in a lot of games as well, but he's a real talisman for him. You know, with Gelhardt being out, he's the one they look to, and he's not failing them this season. He's scoring a lot of goals.
So 2 teams aiming for the Premier League in a match officiated by a man with plenty of top-flight experience. Craig Pawson is the referee this afternoon. And after the coin toss and before kick-off, there will be a minute's reflection on those Hull City supporters who were lost over the course of the last 12 months. So both teams in the centre circle. He looks to see his team continue what has been an excellent first half of the season.
One of the members of the Hull City family that we sadly lost in 2025. We're about to play you a beautiful video. Due to a high number of submissions, the video, though, will continue to play as we prepare for kick-off. And now we'd love you to join us in a minute's applause, which will begin and end on the referee's whistle.
Well, the pre-match huddles, and we are almost ready to go at the MKM Stadium, with Hull City looking to continue their fine recent form. Stoke looking to rediscover their best on the opening day of 2026. A new year, fresh aspirations and ambitions. The there is absolutely no doubt what both of these clubs will be targeting throughout the course of 2026. And it will be Stoke City to get us underway this afternoon. And the match begins 33 days on from the last meeting between these two sides. A game which ended in a mass brawl which saw both clubs fined by the FA. Well, now it is all about the fight for promotion. Hull City very well placed. Stoke City still very much within a shout of reaching the playoffs themselves.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised to see the game start with the real energy that last game ended with, and Stoke City themselves will be looking to, you know, start this season, this campaign this year, the same way they started the whole campaign, which was fantastic.
An early bit of defending to do for John Egan, who helps it clear. Talavierov back in the opposite direction, and a first touch for the ever dependable Ivo Pandor in the Hull City goal. It was described by Sergei Yakirovich as an almost perfect defensive performance a few days ago against Middlesbrough. Yakirovich changed his shape, went with a back three in that game, and it worked. A clean sheet and a victory at the Riverside. Not too far away from here. Probably the best result of Hull's season so far to move them within just 2 points of Kim Hellberg's side.
I think as well that John Egan signing's been crucial, you know, the experience that he's got in there, and you know, with this embargo over Hull's head, and having people like him around with the experience just to kind of keep the team together and be that sort of glue that holds them together.
Charlie Hughes lets it run. Hughes. Well, City will look to continue a theme that has helped them this season. Only Sheffield United have scored more goals in the opening 15 minutes of matches than Hull, with 8. And they're looking for a sharp start here as well with Kyle Joseph. And just putting pressure, in the end a little bit too much pressure on Ben Gibson and giving away a free kick.
Yeah, that's that energy we spoke about before the game, about Hull. They want to provide loads of energy, they want to run after everything, and they're not going to give you a moment's peace, and he proves that there.
There is a man who is used to success. He's won titles in Bosnia and Croatia. Maybe getting Hull City out of the Championship would be his greatest achievement yet.
Doesn't look like a man you want to come up against if things aren't going right as well, does it?
Well, he's popular at the moment with the Hull players because they got Christmas Day off this year. So the boss has got some brownie points. He might have wondered whether that decision had backfired when they drew 2-2 with bottom club Sheffield Wednesday a day later, but maybe the response that he asked for against Middlesbrough was a little bit of proof that it was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, as well, things like that, managers can kind of hold that against the players as well and be like, look, I've looked after you, make sure you repay me. And unfortunately they didn't on Boxing Day, but they managed to against Middlesbrough a few days later.
Hughes. And here is the captain, Louis Coyle.
It looks like Hull might have gone to a bit of a back four here, actually.
Yeah, I think it was seen as a temporary switch to a 3 from Yakirovich, just to match up and try and combat the threats that Middlesbrough posed.
It seems like the obvious play. Every time the ball goes back to Pandor, it comes out to Coyle. I don't know whether that's Stoke forcing that pass or whether it's something Hull have worked on and done time and time again.
Coyle's throw gets it back from Joseph. And, a first touch of the ball for Tommy Simpkin, making just his second Stoke City appearance this afternoon. The last one came back in December 2023, a 1-0 home defeat to Sheffield Wednesday. Since then, he is impressed in loan spells at Walsall and Leyton Orient, and he gets his big chance today. And they are big boots in every way to fill in the absence of Victor Johansson.
It's a big day for him, isn't it? And the thing is, for the defenders there in front of him, it's down to them as well to look after him and make sure he hasn't got too much to do today, because You know that he's going to be nervous. He doesn't look nervous every time he's got the ball, by the way, but you know he's going to be nervous. You don't want to put that weight on his shoulders as a young lad who's making only his second appearance.
Bay. Blocked off by Joseph. And the Stoke goalkeeper has the ball at his feet again and gives it to Ben Wilmot, the scorer in that defeat to Sheffield United. And up towards the Slovakian Robert Bozanic. Cisse. Lawal. Gibson. Just misplaced his pass. Straight to the Hull captain Coyle. Even for a man who turns 33 later this month, it is something a bit unfamiliar for Ben Gibson at the moment, playing as a left full-back. So much of his career has come at centre-half. What are the big challenges ahead of him?
Oh, absolutely, and he's one of them who's been a solid centre-back as well, and not someone you would probably say would fit that mould of playing full-back, but, you know, you've got to have certain strings to your bow, and obviously he's proved that in training, because they wouldn't have played him there else.
You might be glad to be at full-back today to avoid a tussle with Ollie McBurney all afternoon.
I've had a couple of them with McBurney. We were saying off there before, weren't we? How you describe him as a robust striker, and he's not going to give you a minute's peace. Look, he's fighting with two of them there as it is.
Tussling with Gibson, but Stoke got it clear. Tolivierov, nicely taken by Lawal, who looks forward towards the ever-willing Sorba Thomas, who was just a fraction too much on the pass. Well, that man, watching on the monitor, with the hair, is Ryan Shawcross, who was part of the Stoke team when these two sides met on New Year's Day in 2008, Stoke City's promotion season. Maybe that might be an omen for Mark Robins and his side. A 1-1 draw at the Bet365 that day. Leon Court gave Stoke the lead, only for Caleb Folan to earn Hull City a point.
I don't think he's a man you'd be putting at full-back as a solid centre-half back in his day.
And he was such a stalwart at centre-half for so many years, so many successful years for Stoke. Here at Hull, though, with Crooks, Slater, Liam Miller's turning it round the corner for Maywo, looking for McBurney.
Well, Maywo has got big boots to fill, hasn't he, with Ryan Giles being out, and he's the one who's almost provided most of Ollie McBurney's goals this season as well, so McBurney will be looking to form a new relationship with him.
Sergei Yakirovic spoke about that as well in the aftermath of the game against Middlesbrough, that Hakim Maywo played some of that game at left wing-back, which is, for him, an unfamiliar position. This is his first start since arriving from Sheffield Wednesday in the summer. Look to get a good run of games in now. And there is the man who secured the points at the Riverside, Darko JB. That challenge on Bae Jun-ho.
It's nice to see JB, you know, getting more minutes this season. You know, it's part of his natural progression. Last year, I think he was out on loan at Plymouth from Leeds, and now he's really starting to kick on and become a real vital part of that whole team.
Yeah, he exited the Championship in one direction with Plymouth Argyle last season. He will hope to go the other way with Hull this time around.
I think Hull this season have been the real surprise package, haven't they? You know, with last season they stayed up on the last day of the season, and this season they're absolutely flying, and it's amazing to see how much of a difference one manager can make.
Sorba Thomas looks forward. Talavierov heads it on. Thomas looked to dink away from Slater. Wilmot didn't have much of an angle for that ball there towards Cisse. This is JB. Just thumped clear. It's yet to settle down this game in the opening 9 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprised it's been 9 minutes. It has been scrappy, but they're both kind of feeling each other out. They're both looking to press every time the opposition has the ball. It's not like they're sitting in and being comfortable out of possession. It looks like they want to get after each other, which is nice to see.
Talavierov blocked off by the Canadian, Liam Miller, who was making his way steadily back from an ACL injury, which kept him out for pretty much a year. And featured in 7 matches in a row. Egan. Looking for the unmistakable locks of Liam Miller. Hughes.
You can see how hard the Stoke players here are working just to force them back and then make them play it long, because Hull have got some real good players in the middle of the park, and if they can play their way through, they'll hurt you, and obviously that's something that Stoke have identified.
Wilmot. Phillips. Again looking for that angle ball towards Sorba Thomas. Louis Coyle was wise to it. This is Bay. 2 for company. Coyle. Crooks, McBurney, JB. Did well then to just nip a toe in, but Stoke have recovered it. Cisse. Slated it enough, and then John Egan will look to launch the counter-attack and find Firmino. Liam Miller. Flag up.
Yeah, I think as well, Coyle there just showed all of his experience. When the ball's in their defended third, and the ball comes forced to him, he could easily just hook it away, but he's looking to be composed, and that just shows you the confidence that's going through the whole City players.
Ben Gibson. Luau, who himself, like Gibson, has been playing as a makeshift fullback in recent games. Mark Robbins was asked how many opportunities that Stoke had to work on that sort of thing, and said, at the moment, the priority is recovery. This stage of the season, you don't get too many training sessions out on the grass to try and just iron out any creases in the team.
Yeah, it's crucial how, of course, first thing's recovery, and then second thing's training. You've got to keep the minutes on the grass down to a minimum, and you've got to almost sit and watch your analysis and have your little playbooks, if that's what managers do, and you've got to, work smart rather than hard. So with Hull here, I think this is something I would be looking to identify. Gibson playing at left back, you've almost got to let him have the ball because he's in an unfamiliar position. You can say to him, look, he's not a conventional left back, he's not going to be pushing on with the ball, so you almost want to let him have the ball every time and say, look, what you're going to do, I don't think you can really hurt us from that position.
Flicked on by Bosnick, earns his team a free kick for a little tug there from Kyle Joseph.
Yeah, it was a genuine contest for the ball, wasn't it? Crook, he might have caught him there with his arm, but I think he's fairly gone for the ball, but he has just got his arm across Joseph's face there. Sorry, Joseph across his face there.
Sorba Thomas over the Stoke set piece. Hull have held a very high line there.
I don't think it's very hard compared to what I've seen in recent weeks as well. It's becoming a new fashionable thing, isn't it, for teams to hold ridiculously high lines, and it almost makes the opposition lick their lips a little bit and think, right, I'll put a ball in behind and ask the question of how convicting your goalkeeper's going to be.
McBurney the target, away by Luau. Runs to JB. He's looking to make a bit of progress down that left-hand side and earns Hull City a throw-in. It's a cross towards McBurney, headed up in the air by Wilmot. Simpkin will look after it. Lawal, Bay. Nicked away from the challenge and was fouled by Kyle Joseph again.
Yeah, I thought it was good work from Slater and Joseph there. I'm not really sure where I can see the foul.
It does look like he gets a toe on the ball, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it's the initial contact from Slater that's caused the foul.
Three fairly sizable figures towards the right-hand side of the penalty area for Ben Wilmot to aim at with this free kick. Instead he goes short to Rigo, and that is another Hull free kick.
It looks like a silly foul from Thomas on Coyle there, especially when the ball's there. You just want to keep the ball alive. Instead he gives away a soft, silly foul.
Well, he will feel as though he's carrying the goal-scoring burden for Stoke this afternoon. They only have 11 goals in their starting 11 this afternoon for the season, and the Welshman has contributed 8 of them.
I mean, it's nice for him to come from Huddersfield and feel like the main man, but at the same time, he's got to carry that responsibility and make sure he takes it forward and not just rest on his laurels and think, I've done my job by scoring 8 goals this season already.
Bosnick, Thomas. Nearly dropped to Bay. Instead, Bosnick commits the foul on Regan Slater. And it will be Hull's opportunity to maybe just cause a little bit of a problem from a free kick, which Louis Coyle will take, and Tommy Simpkin will marshal the troops.
And that looks like a higher line.
Coyle's ball forward. McBurney is the man at the back post. John Egan was there as well. Lawal did enough. And maybe now can launch Stoke forward. Here is the exciting Lamine Cissé. Away from Miller. Bosnick. It's Bosnick! It's a very good save by Pandur. The first shot in anger. Robert Bosnick wasn't far away from a first Stoke City goal.
Yeah, I was thinking when the ball fell to his feet at the edge of the box, I'm not sure if he should have been shooting, but it's a fantastic effort, and it looks like a really, really good save as well. Oh, it just goes through the bodies, doesn't it? The keeper's almost blinded and then makes a really good save at the end there.
He might get another bite, because he's a big man and one of those that Stoke could aim at from the first corner of the game. Sorba Thomas to swing it in. It will run all the way to Rigo. Wilmot. Bosnick's flick down. Cissé slips away from McBurney, but there was Matt Crooks, and here's Liam Miller. Could be trouble brewing for Stoke, but Talavierov does just enough. Rigo. This game has just shown signs of opening up after a gentle first 19 minutes. I think probably like a few watching, just easing into the new year.
Yeah, Stoke are doing really well here. They're kind of in control of the game. Hull aren't really looking to hurt them at any moment there. I mean, Miller's bad touch.
Well, that's loose from Gibson. Here's JB, McBurney, Kyle Joseph. Numbers arriving for Hull. Joseph might go alone. He's blocked off, and Ben Gibson just makes up for his earlier error.
They do really well there. He's the main sort of threat, isn't he, Joseph, today? He takes that ball on, and I think, right, get at him, and try and get your shot off. But it's not the best cross in the world, is it?
Coyle throws in. Gets it back from Crooks. Rigo will poke away, and it'll be a goal kick.
Just going back to that moment there, Hull nicked the ball really well. It's a good press from them, and of course one of the men you want it to fall to is Joseph in that situation, and he's been really good this season, hasn't he? He's done well with the chances that he's had, and he's been the main focal this season for them with the injuries that they kind of had.
Wilmot. Phillips. Talavierov into Rigo. Robbed by Crooks. Hughes was just closed down well there by Bosnick. There is an energy to Stoke's performance this afternoon. This is Sorba Thomas. Just ran across him and away from goal. Still alive. Thomas. Bay. Didn't get much on his shot. Comfortable for Pandor.
Yeah, John Egan does really well to get out to him to hurry up his shot, but Sorba Thomas, the ball just falls to him and it takes a poor touch, doesn't he? From his standards anyway, you'd think the ball goes out to him here. He's just got to cut across Coyle's path, but he doesn't. He takes out wide, and that ultimately allows the whole players to get back.
Yeah, and the eventual shot was a tame one. Luau, Bay. He's been well involved so far, and he was caught again there by Matt Crooks, who is going to earn himself the first card of 2026, a booking for him.
Crooks looks like he's started a little bit slow. He's been a bit late into a few things here, and that's the third. I think it's the third or fourth foul that Hull have given away in the middle of the park.
He's been playing through the pain for large parts of this season. Matt Crooks, he's got a shoulder injury. Still yet to be decided as to whether he might have surgery on that further down the line, but he's gutsed through it. It'll be a Ben Wilmot free kick for Stoke. Again, fairly straight with not much angle to work with. Rigo. Deflected off Miller. Bay. Gibson. Here's Cisse. Talavierov. Just wondered for a moment whether Phillips might have let that run to Bay. Instead, Crooks comes away with it. Thomas, Bay. Cisse was there. Cisse robs it off JB.
Slater's doing really well in the middle of the park there, just to break things up. He's almost been let down a little bit by Crooks and JB out of possession, that is.
That was a fairly loose touch there by Luau. Here's Ollie McBurney. Joseph. It's Joseph's shot blocked by Luau. Thomas whacks it clear.
Every time Joseph gets the ball, he just wants to be positive, doesn't it? It's great to see, really, that he wants to always get out his man and try and either get a cross in or get a shot off.
JB. Coyle. Thumped clear by Gibson. Hughes goes back to his goalkeeper. Crooks. for Maywo. It's a high press from Stoke. The press works.
Brilliant, yeah. That's the first time they've gone out on their left-hand side and that they've ultimately given the ball away, but really good pressing there from Stoke.
Rigo. Bozanic had one chance, has another go. That time, a far more comfortable save for the Hull goalkeeper.
As a defender here, when you're Charlie Hughes, you're almost saying, inviting the shot off a little bit, thinking there's no chance you're going to beat the keeper from there, but he does really well to turn and get his shot off, but it's an easy one for Pandur to deal with.
Here's Ollie McBurney. Joseph had made off a run in front of him. Talivierov with not a great clearance, not a great effort on goal either by Liam Miller, who had a bit of a wild swing at it. Bozanic. Gibson. And now the talisman Thomas. Stoke just disappearing down a bit of a blind alley there, with plenty of amber and black shirts there to cover off the danger.
Going back to that ball that went across the box there, Talivierov does okay because it's a horrible one for him to deal with. He's thinking, should I head it, should I kick it? And luckily the ball fell to Miller and Miller couldn't make anything of it.
Coyle, nice touch. Gets it back from Joseph. Louis Coyle winding up for the cross towards the obvious target of McBurney, and there was Phillips as he wound up to try the acrobatic. The danger maybe not fully clear though from a Stoke perspective. Miller. Miller gets away towards Joseph. It's Kyle Joseph, takes a deflection, he wants handball. Craig Pawson says corner.
It's more of a desperation shout, I think, isn't it? Because he fluffs his shot, he does really well. He takes the touch, gets the turn on, and I think the shot's ultimately going wide, but this is better from Stoke. Stoke look a bit more of a threat now going forward, and it's that man Joseph again, he's at the heart of all the action going forward. You'd be disappointed as a defender there if the handball's given against you, especially when you feel like the shot's going wide anyway.
It's Hull's turn to take their first corner of the game. Maybe look to put a bit of pressure on Tommy Simpkin. Towards the near post, Simpkin clears it away, then it comes back off the bar from Hughes.
Wow.
Slater's ball in, it whistles across the face of goal, and Lawal clears it out for a corner.
Oh, a really good moment from Hull here. Simpkin does superb, doesn't he? It looks like he's going to have to be fighting with people, and they don't. They go for that near post, and it does so well to keep it out. And then there's a little touch on the ball from Gibson, I think, which deflects it onto the crossbar. That's the first test for him, and he's done really well there.
He sort of had to adjust his arms and his body, didn't he, there, to just spoon it away from danger. Slater's ball towards the near post is up and away by Rigo. JB. Slater past Rigo. JB. McBurney collects the first real spell of exerted pressure from Hull City this afternoon. Miller. Blocked by Bay, who's fouled by Miller.
Yeah, Simpkin does really well. He's getting involved in a bit of a fight that he doesn't need to. He gets enough on it, pushes it out. I mean, most of the time you would say push it away from your goal, not back to the middle of the goal where all the danger is. But yeah, for his first test, he's done really well there. And I think Ben Gibson has also helped him out with deflecting one onto the bar as well.
Charlie Hughes, who scored a vital goal towards the end of last season to aid Hull City's quest for survival. A very late header to win at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday. Wasn't far away from his first of the season there.
The last 5 minutes or so, it's been better, hasn't it, from Hull? You know, they've ridden the sort of storm that Stoke have thrown at them, and now they look to be trying to take control of the game again themselves.
Coyle just left with a bit of work to do from Crook's pass there. He's forced to concede the throw-in. We've played the first half an hour of 2026, still goalless as Mark Robins, a year ago today, was given the job. It's his 51st game in charge of Stoke, which is the same as the previous two managers combined managed, Narcís Palach and Stephen Schumacher. And he is a man who delivers a bit of consistency and stability in that dugout.
It does sadly seem as if the club's a little bit cursed, doesn't it? You know, you spoke about at the start of the game, the positions they've finished in the Championship since they've been back down there, and it's quite ominous for them, really. It's sad to see such a big club really struggling to get a foothold in the league again.
What a job he did, though, at Coventry City. It was miraculous at times, the way he guided them back through the leagues. They were so close, of course, to returning to the Premier League themselves in that playoff final that they eventually lost on penalties against Luton Town a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he took them to the semi-final of the FA Cup as well, didn't he? I remember playing against his team in League Two when Coventry were down there as well, and you just knew that he was always going to have them really well organised, and they had such good players in there as well. And what a fantastic job to take them almost to the Premier League, and it's great to see him back in a really good job as well.
Coventry fans would say within a fingernail, or a toenail rather, of beating Manchester United in that FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and Mark Robins almost had the most famous of days against his former club, but it wasn't to be. Talking of promotion specialists, here's John Egan, who twice went up with Sheffield United. He could technically claim another one with Burnley last season. His appearances were fleeting before joining Hull.
Whether he played a lot or not, he's still a part of it, and you don't realise how valuable these people can be off the pitch. You know, when you're the one setting the standards and training every day and making sure that people are pushing themselves on and driving on, and he knows he's been there getting promoted, so he knows what it takes.
Gibson's header. Thomas. It's too much on that one for Bay. Egan. Into that big crossfield ball. It's nicely guided as well and controlled by Liam Miller. Talavierov stepped in. Hughes. Miller looked to give it him back. The path was blocked. Here's JB. McBurney. Coyle will do well to keep that in and loses the race. Talking of fine margins, this was how close Hull came to taking the lead.
Not quite as close as initially thought. I'll say not quite as close, it's only 6 inches, but you know.
A vital Tommy Simpkins scoop to keep it away from the back of the net.
I mean, it's a good answer to the first test that he's had, isn't it? You know, coming back from Leyton Orient on loan and trying to find himself as a Stoke goalkeeper. It's a really good first save for him.
Here's Crooks. Pando forward towards Joseph. Lowell heads it down. Here's Thomas towards Bay. Away by Egan. Bozanic, nicely done on his chest towards Cisse, who has drifted across that front line in this first half. Gets it back from Thomas. And away from Slater, tumbling, asking the question. And receives a Fairly forthright shake of the head from Craig Pawson.
I mean, Cissé's got every right to ask the question, because Slater has one little bite at him and then he goes again and he does fall over. It would have been a soft one to give, but Slater's got to be careful there.
Lowell. Loose from him. Here's Coyle. Now Slater. Hughes. Coyle. Nicely taken from him. Crooks. JB. Oh, that's a very crucial, long, languid leg from Phillips. He's a tall man, and he needed to be. Talking of which, another tall man commits a foul. Bosnick on Egan.
John Egan does really well to keep that alive. You know, the ball comes out from them having an attack, and he does well to beat the striker to the ball and ultimately draw the foul.
Well, Hull's best moment came from a set piece. What can they do with another? Away again by Ashley Phillips. McBurney. Good defensive work from Lowell. Bay towards Cissé. Just a fraction overcooked. Well, this was Lamine Cissé in more dangerous territory, asking for a penalty that he didn't get.
Yeah, I think because he does really well to follow him initially, but he has that first push outside the box, which Cissé probably could go down with, and the referee's got that in his thought process as well. But then he has another little bite in, but luckily it wasn't as harsh as the first push that he does on him, so I think that's why he just gets away with it.
For Maywood. Here's Ollie McBurney. Drifted a fraction deeper. Looked to release Crooks, and Simpkin was quick off his line. It's a foul from Bosnick on for Maywood.
He's a lucky boy. It looked like he was looking for that foul, didn't he? Having been in that situation myself, you've just got to deal with it. Just put the ball out of play and take your medicine and get on with it.
I was going to say, that sounded like a man who speaks from experience about winning the odd cheap one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're...
Now then, here's Bosnick. It's good work from Hughes. Here's Bay, though. It's Bay Junho. It's well blocked. Might come again. Cissé. Cissé! Bosnick turns it in. Robert Bosnick has his first Stoke City goal on the first day of a new year. And Stoke City, looking to end their away day woes, have the lead at Inform Hull.
He does well, doesn't he? He does what every striker needs to do, is follow in the shot that's going to happen. And it comes from Hubei nicking the ball, I think, on the edge of the box and playing the ball out to Cissé, and Cissé being as bright as he has been this half, getting the shot away, and Bosnick being there to tap it in. There's Hubei nicking the ball there on the edge of the box, tries to put it through Moa's legs, and ultimately gets the ball out to Cissé. Cissé gets the shot off, and Bosnic is there, what every striker should be, just ready to tap it in. Yeah, sorry, Hubei there, just absolutely fantastic with the way he presses and gives the ball off to the weight of the pass off to Cissé, so he can have his touch, get out of his feet and get the shot off, and then Bosnic just there at the back post, doing what every good striker and every poacher does, just defending the maybes, attacking the maybes, and making sure he's there to just tap it in.
Well, he's won a few plaudits so far for his hold-up play, Robert Bosnick, but he will know that a striker's currency is goals, and too many appearances have come and gone without one. And today, He has really marked his arrival as a Stoke City player. They have a decent recent history of big, tall target men doing the job.
Peter Crouch being one that comes to mind.
Mama Sidibe another.
But Hube just does so well. Him and Cisse, for me, have been the real bright spots for Stoke today. And
here's Thomas for Bosnic again. Stoke City smell an opportunity. Goals have been a problem in recent games. Their manager's 3 in 6 since that defeat to Hull in the reverse fixture. But they have a lead here as Talavierov aims for Thomas and Coyle steps in.
It's great for them to have Cisse out there on that wing, because Sorba Thomas has almost kind of been locked up on this left-hand side, and as we spoke about before at the start of the game, where he scored 8 goals and where they're going to get the goals from, and Cisse helping provide with the assist.
Well, it would have maybe, even if it is just for a rest and rotation, raised a few eyebrows that Miljan Manhoef wasn't in the starting lineup for Stoke this afternoon. So often he has carried the charge from an attacking perspective for Stoke in recent times, but 3 changes in the forward areas from Mark Robins, and so far it has worked because Robert Bosnic has the only goal of the game.
Manhoef's so exciting though, isn't he? He's such an exciting player to watch, but he also frustrates you, because sometimes he takes a man on and tries to take him on again, whereas Cisse today, it looks like every time he gets the ball, he just wants to be direct and make something happen.
Sorba Thomas free kick towards Talavierov.
He's had a good game, Talavierov, so far. He's been really solid defensively, and he's been a bit of a nuisance going forward as well.
Well, he was another one relegated with Plymouth last season. He's only played 3 games in the league so far for Stoke. All of them have finished 1-0, actually. Only one in Stoke's favour, but he might, or will hope now, that it is 1-0 again this afternoon, because it's his team that lead. Lawal. Gibson. Thomas. JB. John Egan just got that pass through to Darko JB.
Brilliant from Cisse there, coming back from behind him and blindsiding him and nicking that ball off him, doing what every winger should be doing defensively for their team.
I think he's spoken a few times, Mark Robins, about Lamine Cisse, who arrived with 16 in goal involvements for Bastia last season, about being a bit of a project, that there was a lot of work to do. Only his 4th start in the Championship this season.
But it looks like a good project he's got in his hands there, doesn't it? As I say, he's really exciting and really positive every time he gets the ball.
Crooks looked for McBurney. Wilmot was there. Ben Gibson. Stoke will be desperate to just see this through to half-time now, with that 1-goal advantage supplied by Robert Bosnic.
Well, you'd like to think they'd be happy with how solid they are at the back, because they've got ultimately 4 centre-halves playing across the back 4 as well, so you know that they're not going to cause too many issues going forward if you've got that solidity at the back.
Tony Pulis would be proud.
Have they got a long throw in there as well somewhere?
Well, here's the moment that matters so far. Robert Bosnic staying on side to put Stoke in front.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how much space Cisse has when he gets the ball there, and Hube just does so well just to provide him with that. The weight of the pass is absolutely perfect for him to then get a touch, but Slater, who has to go out there, and as we said before, the striker's in the right place, attacking the maybes, I would say, rather than just being static in the middle of the goal, waiting for any balls to fall there.
Vermeer's throw-in. Not a great return from JB, that.
Talking of long throws, they could have done one there themselves, couldn't they?
1 extra minute at the end of this first half of football in 2026. So far, it is a job well done for Mark Robins and his team. McBurney, JB, Liam Miller sets off, Ashley Phillips will slide across. Bay. Foul by Slater, who's going to get booked for his troubles.
Definitely yellow card. Bosnich does really well now. He's built on that confidence of scoring the goal and finds himself on the floor and just touches it off to Hubei, who I've been really impressed with. His energy today is in and out of possession has been absolutely fantastic. That's 2 Hull City centre midfielders now on a yellow card as well, so that'll be an interesting one to talk about at half-time.
This, you would think, is going to be the final action of this first half. Towards Bay. Might fall to Ben Gibson. And that is the final action of the first half. New year and maybe a new Stoke City away from home in the Championship after 4 straight defeats on their travels. Is that about to change? Hull City went close to taking the lead when Charlie Hughes' effort deflected back off the crossbar after some good goalkeeping from Tommy Simpkin. But Robert Bosnich has scored his first Stoke City goal, and that's the difference at the break. So there's probably a lot of bouncing at Watford, given the amount of times that they changed their manager, but they've gone back to someone they know can do a good job, the man that took them to the FA Cup final. And it is working at the moment, and they lead Birmingham City 2-0 at half-time, which means that if it stays like that, the pressure is sure to ramp up on Chris Davis, the man who delivered promotion to the Championship last season. As for promotion to the Premier League next season, well, that is what both Hull City and Stoke City are desperate to achieve. Hull came into this game in the far better form, but it is going against the form book at the break, and Ollie McBurney, I'm sure, will be desperate to change that and add to his 10 goals for the season, because he hasn't had too much to feast on in that first half.
No, and everything he seems to be doing at the moment is outside the box as well, whereas you want your big man in between the middle of the posts, in the middle of the goal, whereas that's where kind of Carl Joseph has found himself more often. So he'll be looking to get himself where we just said then, so I'm sure he's got a part to play in this game still.
Well, it looks as though Joel Ndala, on loan from Manchester City, is going to have a part to play, because he is the substitute that is being readied at half-time. So Sergej Jakirovic wasting no time in terms of making a change.
And that's that energy we probably spoke about. They are lacking in energy, and he's someone who will provide a lot of energy. He's gonna kind of probably hope to play on the shoulder and get in behind a bit more than what they have already in the first half.
Please also welcome back to the MKM Stadium our visitors here today, Stoke City.
Well, here comes Stoke, 45 minutes away from a long overdue away win. Mark Robins has overseen countless games like this before, where it's all about a resolute performance to see the team to victory. But at the moment, Robert Bosnich's goal is the difference between the two teams. So Joel Mbala is on, and Kyle Joseph is the man to make way at half-time. And as has been the case this season, a lot of, you'd say, effort from Joseph, but he did miss that one big opportunity midway through the first half. But it will be Hull City to get us underway in this second half, with work to do to turn this game around.
Yeah, Joseph looked like the one in in play to look like really posing a threat to Stoke City's defence. So I'm surprised that maybe he's picked up a little niggle that we don't know about.
Well, Hull City kick us off, looking to end what looks to be a growing recent trend in head-to-heads between these two teams. The last 8 matches, none of them have seen the home team come out on top, and it is the visitors who have that 1-goal advantage at the break. And with an early stoppage here, an early concern here as well for the goal scorer Bosnic.
Looks like he's hurt his shoulder there. You're talking about Matt Crooks and his shoulder in the first half. It's a really nasty one when you do your shoulder, because there's so many complications that can go wrong with the shoulder.
His goalkeeper as well, Victor Johansson, is also missing with a shoulder injury. He just falls awkwardly, does he?
Yeah, I mean, Egan does well and gives a little bit of afters and trips him up, and you just never know. It's a bit of an obnoxious fall, and you wouldn't think you'd hurt yourself looking like that, but you just never know, do you? It looks like a painful one.
Well, Mark Robbins does have ready-made replacements in reserve in the form of Divine Mbama and Sam Gallagher, if he wants to call on either of those two, if this is a match-ending problem for the big Slovakian.
It'd be a shame, wouldn't it? Because he's really grown into the game. He started off a little bit poor touch into him when it was coming into him, whereas he's really grown into the end of that first half and looked like he wanted to build on the goal that he scored.
That is never a good sign. And it looks as though it might well be Sam Gallagher who is being called on to replace Bosnic, and some final instructions from Ryan Shawcross.
It's not a bad replacement, is it? I played against Gallagher, and he's a big presence. He's a big physical lad, and he'll offer exactly what Bosnic has been doing as well, but he'll have to get himself into the game pretty quickly.
A real shame this for Stoke and for Bosnic on such a significant day, given that he put them in front with his first goal for the club.
Yeah, Bosnic does so well. He's fighting with Hughes on the floor and gets himself up and stays on the move and gets that tap in at the back post. And as I say, he'd be frustrated that he can't build on the confidence, but hopefully this shoulder injury is not a long-term one, and it's something he can come back from relatively quickly.
Understandably, the medical team taking care with Robert Bosnic. Sam Gallagher just sprays a bit of WD-40 on, get those joints moving.
I know about that all too well. Especially as you're getting a bit older, you probably do need the WD-40 in the joints. But this little break does allow them to get the information into Gallagher and allow him to get himself ready to come on, rather than just throwing him on really quickly.
Interesting that they are opting for Gallagher rather than Mbama.
Maybe it's the physicality they want. He's such a big lad, and he's also a willing runner as well, and he'll hold the ball up and he'll be that focal point, because they've got something to hold on to now, Stoke. You know, that's someone that they can play balls up to and know that he's going to win most of his duels.
Well, Mark Robbins will hope that this is an absentee list that doesn't continue to mount, already without a number of players, particularly in the full-back areas. Eric Bocat and Aaron Creswell, Junior Chamaru, who continues with Cameroon at the Africa Cup of Nations. And Lewis Baker as well missing, which is a real high-profile absentee. This is the incident again.
Yeah, I mean, Egan gives him a little trip and pulls him down, but it's nothing too drastic. It's just an obnoxious one, the way he's fallen there and put his arm down, and you just never know the way that the joint's going to react to that, do you? having had a dodgy shoulder myself throughout the latter stages of my career, not from falling like that, from probably taking too many long throw-ins, but it's really painful. You know, you get into bed at night and you can't lay on it, and I think shoulder's probably one of the worst pains that I've had throughout my career, so I can understand the sort of pain that he's in.
I feel for him, and it has been a lengthy delay now to the start of this second half, and on what is a very cold afternoon at the MKM Stadium. And both players are just having to keep themselves warm, getting the extra balls out on the pitch to try and be ready to go when this match eventually does resume.
Yeah, you've got to do what you've got to do to make sure you're ready to go again, because they've sat down for 15 minutes, they then come out for 30 seconds and the injury comes, so you want to make sure your players are not only mentally ready but physically ready as well, because you can soon stiffen up and, you know, start switching off, so it's really important to stay focused.
Both Stoke's medical team and Hull's have been there to lend a hand, as well as the ambulance and the stretcher.
It's interesting that none of the players have gone over to the managers to get information, because they've probably been sat down for 10-15 minutes listening to them, so they're thinking, we'll stay on the pitch and stay out of the way.
We would like to think that both Sergei Yakirovic and Mark Robins got all their messages on during that 15-minute break. And this enforced stoppage, unfortunately, is for all the wrong reasons. They're being very, very careful with him, as he just is lowered down onto that stretcher.
Yeah, and as I said, it's allowing Gallagher the time to get warm. He's sprinting up and down the touchline now, really getting himself ready.
From what you can see of him, he does look in a lot of discomfort, doesn't he, Robert Bosanic?
Yeah, look, for the medical team now, they want him to get on the stretcher. It's the safest place for him to not hurt himself, but as a player, the kind of ego kicks in and you think, I don't want to be coming off on a stretcher when I've hurt my shoulder. But yeah, it's sad to see. He looks in a lot of pain, doesn't he?
Well, that is a real shame. He is visibly emotional, Robert Bosanic, and an incredibly sad end to a joyous start to the afternoon, where he tapped in his first goal for the club. He looked a threat before that as well, particularly with one good shot from distance.
Yeah, it's a shame. He looked like he was really growing into the game. And, you know, maybe the realisation's hit where, you know, he's probably thinking now, oh, no, this is going to be a long-term injury, and that's not something that you really want to come into the thought process.
You have to feel for him. That is not nice, not how he would have wanted to begin 2026. And a decent hand from the home supporters as well, who recognise a man in pain. Sam Gallagher knows all about that, because he's spent a lot of the last year on the sidelines himself. Yet to score in 8 appearances, 7 of them off the bench before today. He'll hope to break his duck too for this Stoke City season.
I think when you're a Stoke player as well, if you've got round your teammate there and see what the pain that he's really in, that can galvanise you, and you can get to see what sort of team you are, you know, if you're going to go and do it for someone rather than just do it for yourself.
The one thing we do know is there's going to be a lot of stoppage time at the end of this game after that. Phillips. Stoke having to start again. Here's Rigo to Bay. There's space on that left-hand side. Bay instead just burrowed infield and found Cisse. Cisse's ball in, it's flicked away by Hughes. Gibson. Hughes will knock it back to Ivo Pandor.
Yeah, good work from Bay again, and getting the ball out to Cisse, and Cisse doing what he's done all game, be really, really positive.
I think it's one of the key areas of improvement that Stoke are looking to see in Bae Jun-ho, who's still only a young man. Lots of little flickers of skill. They want some more end products. Stoke have a free kick. Matt Crooks just needs to be a little careful. I think there was too much in that, was there?
No, but it's just, I think from the start of the game, he's been a little bit off the pace. Again, you don't know how much it catches up on these players, but just being 1 or 2 yards off it and can make a big difference. And as you say, he's on a yellow card as well.
Well, that's a loose swap from Pandor. Good work from Famewo to bail his goalkeeper out. Slater given away again, this time to Sorba Thomas. Well, City just look like they're dusting off the cobwebs a little bit after that lengthy stoppage at the start of the second half.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to make the most of that time where the teammate's down on the floor, and you've got to make sure you're ready mentally and physically to start the game again.
Gibson. Louis Corder's going to let that one run all the way out. He was thrilled a few days ago. Sergei Yakirovich, he will be less impressed with the first 57 minutes from his team today. Rigo was blocked there by Slater. Lawal back to Phillips. Simpkin was clattered into there by Ollie McBurney. Craig Pawson just allows things to continue.
McBurney just using his experience there, letting the keeper kind of know that, you know, you're not in for an easy ride if you want to come out of your box.
What was the word? Robust, did you say?
Robust.
Robust.
It was. I think it might have been a foul as well, if I'm being totally honest with you.
I think you're right. And I think he's probably been called worse than robust in his time as Ollie McBurney.
I was nice to him when I played against him.
Worried it might what happened if you weren't. Gallagher, first touch from him. Thomas looked to give it him back. Cisse. Bay. JB steps back in and does well there, and is fouled eventually.
Good work from Stoke, though. When they lose the ball, their reactions to get it back are really, really good. And Cisse's in the middle of the pitch rather than out wide and trying to win it back for his team.
Miller for Maywo. Miller gets it back. Clash of two eye-catching haircuts there as Liam Miller goes up against Thomas Rigo.
Not something I can comment on, really.
Ever went for the bleach blondes?
Yeah, there is a picture of me when I was 17 with bleached blonde hair playing professional game, yeah, so the less said about that, the better.
One for Google. Another of the bleached blonders. Rigo gives away the free kick.
I didn't quite look that good, but JB does well here. I think JB's been the kind of main man in the middle of the pitch as well for Hull today. He's the one who's looking to try and make things happen, but unfortunately it looks like it's a one-man job in there at times.
Coyle to take the Hull free kick.
This is that high line, and Stoke dropped really quick, really well.
Just try and work something clever there. It ends up being not so clever. Misses that challenge from Ollie McBurney.
Yeah, it's a free hit, isn't it? He knows exactly what he's doing, and even if a foul's given against him, he knows he's not going to get a yellow card, but it's just one of them where he's looking to rough up the keeper and put a little bit of doubt into his mind.
Happy New Year, Tommy.
Welcome to the Championship, he says.
Flick on from Gallagher towards Cisse, away by Hughes. Look quickly towards Thomas. Handel scrambled across to keep it in play.
Really good intent there by Stoke, though. You know, 1-0 up. They're not just looking to hold on to their lead. Cisse looks to take a really quick throw and they get in. And yeah, I like it. It's good to see.
Mentioned that they have struggled on their travels recently, Stoke City. There have been some defeats against some fairly impressive opposition. Sheffield United in good form, so too Ipswich and Watford.
Well, they've got good players. Stoke were, you know, third in the league earlier in the season, doing really, really well. Actually, the last time these two met, Stoke kind of dominated the game from what I could see, and you know, Hull come away with a 2-1 win, but they're a really good team. They're just obviously lacking on confidence at the moment. That's a massive thing.
Well, Joel Ndala has won a free kick for Hull. Regan, Slater, the man over it. And it goes. Simpkin opts to punch. An acrobatic effort that gets it clear, gets the job done.
Yeah, he does really well. He makes his mind up really early that he's coming out for it. The punch isn't very convincing, so next time that they get the opportunity to put that ball in, I'll be thinking, right, let's try and get McBurney in a 50-50, possibly with the goalkeeper, and see if he's brave enough to come out for it then.
For the moment, it will be a long throw from Louis Coyle towards McBurney. Corner. Ben Wilmot doing the defending. Maybe Hull City are just going to try and ask a few more questions.
It'd be interesting to see if they put anyone around the goalkeeper. It looks like they have. They put JB on the keeper.
It's Ndala who's round the goalkeeper. It's towards Egan. It's away by Cisse.
Yeah, it's a poor corner, isn't it?
Whether it's been a theme, because he's hit a lot towards the near post as Slater so far, as it goes towards McBurney. Here's Liam Miller. Miller was looking for JB. Runs out of play.
Yeah, but that corner in the first half, it looks like he shoots, and on this one here is naturally he's a right footer, so he's going to be out swinging. So it's a poor corner not to beat the first man, especially on an out swinging corner. John Egan does really well, though, to get across the front post, but it's almost impossible for him to get anything on it.
Famewo's header out of play. And with the first ironic whistles there, that Tommy Simpkin was starting to take a little longer than he needed to with his restart.
I mean, you can see the natural nerves on his face there, where he's really thinking about his goal kick, whereas I'm sure from where he's been at Leyton Orient, he wouldn't have been overthinking them sorts of things, but that's down to the whole fans to try and put a bit of pressure on him.
The whole players will look a bit of a pressure on there, but Coyle was covered off by Sorba Thomas. If Hull do start to throw more men forward, then it is the express pace of Thomas that could be a real threat on the counter-attack for Stoke in this closing half an hour. That's Rigo. Didn't quite pick the right pass for Cisse.
Yeah, that's where Thomas and Cisse will become crucial, trying to keep the width and make the game as big as they possibly can on that counter-attack.
Ndala's ball back to his goalkeeper. McBurney tussling with Phillips. Runs nicely to JB. This is Liam Miller. It's Miller. Good block by Talavierov. Away by Lawal. Rigo up to Sam Gallagher. Just slips there. And he's fouled by Hughes.
Yeah, really good work from Bay to get back and ultimately win the ball back for his team and put the ball up to Gallagher. And Gallagher, I know he slips and he just does well to get the first contact on the ball and make sure the ball carries on going in that direction.
It's not the best playing surface, is it?
No, I mean, a few people have lost their footing a bit, but, you know, it's... in fact, it was a pretty poor touch from Gallagher, but he gets away with it.
Does he fall into the robust category?
I think he just does, but I think, you know, he's got a bit more to his game than that.
I'll tell Ollie McBurney you said that.
I knew that was coming.
Well, Ollie McBurney and Hull...
He's got a bit more to his game than that.
I'll tell Ollie McBurney you said that.
I knew that was coming.
Well, Ollie McBurney and Hull City need a chance, need something to go their way. Maybe it will as Liam Miller takes over. It's Miller's ball. It's Ollie McBurney.
Absolutely fantastic from Miller.
Well, the best look at goal for Hull City's top scorer, but he was just stretching and straining and couldn't quite turn it in.
Yeah, great ball out to Miller on the wing here, and he just... I'm thinking, is he going to try and take him on the inside on his right foot? He puts an unbelievable ball in the middle of the box, and McBurney, it's a tough one for him. He's at full stretch. But they're the chances that he's been putting away this season, aren't they?
A let-off for Stoke City. Not a man who has offered opposition many second chances this season, Ollie McBurney.
Yeah, he's been very clinical, hasn't he? He scored a good goal away at Wrexham, home against Wrexham like that.
Here's Bay. Bay into the area with Egan for company. Corner.
I've been really impressed with Bay. He's been really, really positive. Every time he gets the ball, his energy in and out of possession, and it just forces Egan into giving away a corner there.
Stoke would love a second to settle them down.
Got some big boys in that pack, haven't they?
Rigo's ball in towards Lawal, who was just maybe under enough pressure from Coyle not to be able to direct his header goalwards.
Coyle using all of his experience there, just getting in between the man and the ball, and he knows that he's beaten for height, but he just does enough to put him off. I mean, he's not particularly looking at the ball, he's more worried about the man. As that ball comes over, it just gets his body in the way and just does enough. I think he just collapsed himself early enough.
Maybe another chance here for Miller. Talavierov did just enough as Ndala looked to poke it through to him. More problems. This time for a Hull player. Bae Jun-ho is booked for that challenge on Louis Coyle, who's drawn blood there. That looks like a nasty cut.
Yeah, it looks concerning. He's the one waving over to get the physio to come onto the pitch.
Bae Jun-ho went straight over there to apologise. That was a high boot, isn't it?
Yeah, he's made a genuine attempt for the ball, and it is a yellow card, and there's nothing in it, but you know, he's gone over to check to see if he's okay. It's a nasty one, but also brave of Coyle to put his head in there.
Whether Ollie McBurney is asking whether yellow is enough there.
Yeah, I think he's surprised. He's lucky to be not on a yellow himself as well, I think. But that's the experience they need in the team. People that are getting around the referee, putting the doubt into their mind. Why not ask the question? If that's where you can gain an advantage, that's what you've got to do as a player on the pitch.
suspect he's still filthy at himself for missing that chance that came his way a few moments ago.
Yeah, that'll still be in his thought process, won't it? Especially with how clinical he has been this season. It was such a good ball from Miller, wasn't it? It was almost like he didn't believe the ball was going to come across, and he's at full stretch and just doesn't quite get enough on the ball.
Casey Palmer is imminent for Hull City, as is Enis Destan as well, the Turkish forward. For now, the repairs go on for the Hull captain. It is a ground where they play Super League, and that is the sort of state you see some of those boys in at the end of 80 minutes of rugby league.
That'd be considered a minor injury in rugby league, I think.
So Stoke City leads. Might Hull have drawn level? This was the opportunity that came Ollie McBurney's way.
Yeah, it was that man who's on the floor, Coyle, who plays the diagonal across to Miller. And Miller just put such a nice ball in there. I think striker's probably not anticipating it like I am, thinking that Miller's got the opportunity to get at him 1v1 and take him on the inside, but he doesn't. He puts a lovely ball across, and McBurney will be kicking himself if he doesn't get more on that ball.
So that one didn't find the net, but this one did from Robert Bosanic, the only goal of the game so far.
Yeah, talking about anticipating balls going across the goal. Bosanic does it really well, doesn't he? He's just there. He knows that he's going to shoot across the goal. He does what all good wingers do in that position, shooting across the goal, and he's just there to just get enough on the ball to put it in the back of the net.
It is going to be then a double change of Palmer and Destan.
Casey Palmer's an exciting player, though, isn't he? He's a player that can get you off your seat and look to do things and make things happen in them attacking areas.
We're just waiting to confirm that Louis Coyle definitely will be okay to continue. So Akin Famewa is the first to be replaced.
He's done a good job defensively against Cessex. It's been a tough ask for him, and he just probably hasn't provided enough going forward off the back of that.
To be replaced by number 45, sponsored by Phoenix Building Systems.
Enis Destan is on as well. And this, as is the case, as JB makes way. Sergei Yakirovich knows he needs to go for it here.
Yeah, it's just not quite worked out for JB today, has it? He's huffed and puffed, and he's tried in that middle of the park, and things just haven't quite worked out for him. But it's time for him to be replaced by Casey Palmer, who can really excite you and get you off your seat.
Still the treatment continues for Louis Coyle, who's sat up, arms folded.
Well, last time there was a break in play, I think Stoke reacted really well off the back of it and had the kind of energy to go and take it to Hull. And you see these Hull players, well, even the Stoke players as well, they're all kind of stood round, not really doing much. It's been a couple of minutes again, hasn't it?
Could be into February by the time this game finishes.
We're not getting home till midnight, I don't think, at this rate.
The double pay. Destan is on, and it is difficult for him and for Palmer. Can just get themselves a little bit warmed up on the field.
Again, I'm surprised they haven't, this time gone over to the manager and asked for some instructions, or vice versa, the manager pull him over to give them instructions. Maybe it is as simple as go on there and change the game for us.
There has been a lot of sitting and waiting for everyone inside the MKM Stadium in this second half. It certainly was a real shame to see Robert Bosanic go off the way He did, clearly in a lot of pain with that shoulder injury.
Yeah, you never want to see anyone go off, do you? And that's why everyone will be hoping now that Coyle can stay on and do what captains do and lead and try and suck it up and get on with it and deal with the pain later on. I know that Bosnick couldn't have done that because he was in such pain, but it's nice to see Coyle looking like he's ready to go again.
Looking like he's gone about 8 rounds with Tyson Fury.
Well, him and Charlie Hughes they look like they've had a fight against each other, don't they, this game? But, you know, it's nothing in it from Bay. He's made a genuine attempt to get the ball, and Coyle's brave enough to put his head down there as well. So, you know, hopefully we can just get this game going again and get it back flowing. Yeah,
he's going to have to change his shirt, Louis Coyle, because of the blood that flowed from that injury to the head. But he's got his headband, he's got his captain's armband, and a man who went past 200 Hull City appearances in November was never going to go off willingly, was he?
No, not at all, and that's what you want to see from your captain, from your experienced players, and someone who wants to be on that pitch to help change the game and not go off and, you know, regret coming off.
Well, eventually we can get back underway, and Casey Palmer's first involvement will be to swing in this free kick. It's towards McBurney, headed away. Here's Rigo. Thomas sets off in front of him. There's a little pocket of space for Bae Jun-ho there. Instead, Stoke go back. Wilmot.
It's always interesting when a player comes on the pitch have their first touch to be a free kick, and when they haven't had a feel of the ball, you know.
Here's Bae, and Cisse. It's a very good challenge from Charlie Hughes.
Yeah, great tackle. Bay's at the heart of it again, isn't he? He's just so busy in and around the ball, and I think the referee's given a goal kick there, actually. Yeah, Charlie Hughes with a big tackle. I'm not quite sure how the referee's not seen that. Cisse in a real dangerous position. I'm thinking he's just going to take a touch and maybe try and buy a foul and get a shot off. But Bae at the heart of that again, winning the ball back and playing a lovely little pass.
Crooks. Destin looking to get his legs moving. McBurney towards Ndala. Hughes. He's still pretty much come closer than anyone else to a whole goal this afternoon with that shot that just took a little deflection and came back off the crossbar in the first half. But there you go, still no shots on target for the home team this afternoon. And for a side that are only behind Coventry in terms of the division's top goal scorers, is a poor return as yet. McBurney. Shrugged off it by Lawal. Cisse. Space is set to open up now for Stoke. It's Gallagher. From Cisse's pass, Sam Gallagher looking for Thomas. He probably knew he didn't quite have the pace to go alone there. Gallagher gets his cross in, away by Egan.
Yeah, Cisse does really well, picking that up in the pocket and making the pass to Gallagher, and Gallagher's trying to return the favour with his cross, but unfortunately for him, the whole City defenders do really well to get back.
It's looking like more disappointment on home soil for Hull City against Stoke. They've not beaten Stoke here since 2019. It came from a goal down. 2 from Jared Bowen was the difference that day.
And they'd love to have a player like him in their team now.
And that just confirms recent dominance for Stoke at this ground. 4 straight victories here as Talavierov throws in. Palmer went down.
For me, little stats like that aren't something that managers generally talk about, I don't think, especially ones that haven't been at the club for too long. But I don't know if that is an added motivation. All you've got to think about is the last game and the energy that was provided after that game, because, you know, the players were scrapping with each other, and that's what they kind of think, right, I've got to take that into this game and use that as my motivation.
particularly at a club like Hull, where there has been so much churn in terms of the players in the squad. Not too many left even from last season, let alone 2, 3, 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, exactly. They're all trying to stake their claim and be in the starting 11. You know, they're getting their opportunities with the injuries that they've had this season as well. And you know that they're not going to go and sign anyone in January because of the embargo that's placed upon them. We
said, Sergei Yakirovich, that it's a case of one in, one out, that they can do some business, but only if players leave the club at the same time. Craig Pawson's just stopped things because there was 2 balls on the pitch for a moment.
I'd be interested to see if anyone wants to get off the ship at the moment, though, you know, because they're doing so well. Why would you not want to be a part of this club?
Ten minutes of normal time to play, but there is a lot of stoppage time to come here too. You'd think there's probably a good 20 minutes of this match still remaining, if not much more. Simpkin has rushed off his line there.
Yeah, brilliant positioning from Simpkin. He makes his mind up early. Again, the outcome of what he does is not necessarily too great, but the initial thing that he does, being positive in the position that he starts in and deals with the ball ultimately, and that's all that matters. He's had a solid game, hasn't he?
Well, the thing is, he's not had a great deal to do in terms of making saves, because still no shots on target as Talevierov gets it clear. There was that one good bit of work from Regan Slater's corner.
But everything he's done today has been convincing in what he's done.
Here's Gallagher on the counter-attack.
That's a yellow card. That's a really good foul, because Cisse's probably in on the opposite side of the pitch as well.
He's a young man, Joel Ndala, but he showed a bit of smarts there. He took one for the team, as they say.
Gallagher just using his size and his power and his pace to just knock it past him, and then they added the experience of buying the foul as well. But he'd probably be disappointed because there was a pass on there out to Cisse on the right-hand side as well.
It's Thomas's free kick towards the back post, and Phillips and Lual as well. It's away off the goal line.
Well, that is an unbelievable ball from Sorba Thomas.
And it is Ashley Phillips who comes very close to making it 2-0.
What a ball. This is in the exact right area. Talevierov does so well at the back post by blocking, but Coyle gets back on the line and clears it off the line, which is unbelievable, and that's why you want your man, the captain, to be on the pitch still.
And he actually gets the flick of the header as well at the second attempt, so twice the captain has come to the rescue there. Charlie Hughes. Can Hull get themselves a little bit of momentum in this game?
I mean, the fans will be looking at the clock thinking there's only 10 minutes left, but there's still a probably good half an hour left here, isn't there?
Destan. And Ndala runs ahead of him. It's a poor ball by Destan. Easy to deal with for Tommy Simpkin, who throws that to Cisse. He probably realises it is far too early to try and start time wasting, given the game state. Thomas. Sorba Thomas blocked by Coyle. Thomas.
Thomas has been quiet today, hasn't he? But it's freed up players like Bay and Cisse to do what they can do. So as long as he's happy for that and to be the sacrificial lamb and also let Bay flourish. But as we see it, Coyle with that clearance off the line, it's absolutely fantastic. And as you say, the header, because Gallagher's probably going to get a touch on it, but Sorba Thomas's delivery all season, his crossing has been absolutely fantastic, and that man Coyle just using the adrenaline that he's got pumping through his body to find himself in the way of it.
Ndala Destan, Palmer and Dala again. Just couldn't quite control that ball. Give it away, and a few just murmurs of frustration from the home crowd. Thomas. Sam Gallagher is going to win a corner, is he? Yes.
Just using that strength again there against Ndala. And he knows that Ndala's on a yellow card, so he can't really go and try and put his foot in. Just gets his... Well, he just almost pushes him and bullies him out of the way.
Four Stoke players in a very tight line there as Rigo swings in. McBurney heads it away.
Yeah, brilliant from McBurney. That's why players are so crucial, not just in possession and when they've got the ball, it's also defensive set pieces, the presence that he provides and the fact that he wants to go and head that ball is so crucial for teams.
Rigo again delivers as the Stoke players split. It will come to Cisse. Cisse, Palmer did well. Miller couldn't keep it in play. Stoke throw in.
For a team like Stoke who've lost their last 4 away games, it's been an impressive performance so far. You know, they've come with a clear identity in what they want to do, and so far so good for them.
It is time for the long throw. Maxim Talavierov. Gallagher. Away by Miller. Wilmot. Thomas. Thomas looking for Gallagher.
By the way, full credit to Ben Gibson so far. We've not even mentioned his name. So he's going under the radar. He's doing a really good job at left back.
Certainly the early season success for Stoke was built on defensive solidity, and with key players missing in their back line, this would be a really good clean sheet. They might be eyeing a second. Here's Bae Jun-ho for Cisse. It's Lamine Cisse. Not his best.
I like that though. He's a young lad. He's being positive. He's trying to show what he can offer. And again, Bae picks the ball up off Lawal in acres of space. He just drives it, makes a really good decision. Again, good way to pass, and you know, no begrudging Cisse there for taking the shot on. Shows that he's a man in confident form.
A couple of minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Stoke have struggled in the closing stages of games this season. And the lowest scorers in the last 15 minutes of matches in the Championship have scored just twice as the changes come, and Regan Slater is about to be replaced by Hadziemetovic. And David Akintola is coming on as well. And Liam Miller is the other player to be replaced.
Again, can they come on and provide that energy that they've been so good at this season? They've just got to try and get the crowd lifted, haven't they?
Well, this might be the moment. Here's Ndala. Finds Bosun Lawal in his way, eventually wins a free kick.
Lawal does brilliant there, but Ndala's just got to play that forward pass. He's almost a little bit too apprehensive and too safe. He's got to play the forward pass and look forward and be positive. But look at the Stoke players, 4 of them around there, like hounding him to get that ball back.
First touch for Hadziemetovic. Bosnian playing for a Bosnian in Turko Jakirovic. That's Palmer looking for McBurney. Slightly overrun there. And now Ollie McBurney. It's McBurney It's a comfortable save for Tommy Simpkin.
Yeah, he doesn't get the contact that he wants on the ball, but Casey Palmer there, he's positive with his play. He looks for a forward pass. Yes, it breaks down, but straight away his reaction to win that ball back is fantastic. And the ball comes out to Ollie McBurney, and he's surrounded by 3 or 4 players and takes a shot on, but doesn't quite get the contact that he wants.
17 minutes of stoppage time.
It's the first time I've ever seen that many minutes put up.
2 lengthy stoppages for Bosnick and for Coyle. They're going to be here for some time.
I'd just like to see Ndala, when he gets the ball, just to be positive and take that ball forward, look forward, rather than playing back and playing safe as he has done the last couple of times he's got it.
That Ollie McBurney effort, which was so comfortable for Simpkin, was the first shot on target for Hull in this match. Hughes, Palmer, who did score against Stoke last season in Hull's 3-1 win at the Bet365. He missed a penalty, but nodded in the follow-up.
Yeah, he's an exciting player, Casey Palmer, isn't he? He did really well with his time at Coventry. And
Calavierov away. Ndala's ball in. Akintola's cross, corner. And John Egan has just tried to rally the crowd here inside the MKM Stadium, who should be boosted by the sheer fact there is still more than 15 minutes to play in this game. There is lots and lots of time to Hull to find themselves an equaliser, if not even more. Hadzimetovic will take the corner. Towards Crooks. Calavierov concedes another. Take 2. Towards Crooks. Over the bar.
it's a better delivery, isn't it, than the ones we were seeing from Slater in the early moments in this second half. But that man Crooks is a big boy, and he does well to get on the end of it, but he'll be disappointed in the outcome. He just gets caught under the ball, and he can't get up to get over the ball.
Milian Manhoef is going to come on for the final stages here, as his midfield reinforcement in Tatsuki Seko. Hughes. Egan. Angle forward towards Ndala. Just looking to try and pick away through Cisse and Talavierov. And the Ukrainian is going to get a yellow card.
I mean, he's saying there that's his first foul of the game, but that ball from Egan, he's played that 3 or 4 times today. Is that fantastic diagonal that he plays? But I was saying before about Ndala, can he be positive? Can he get out his play? And no surprise, the first time he does, he draws a foul and free kick for his team.
Danger lurks once more for Stoke City. Might there still be some work to do for Tommy Simpkin to preserve a first Stoke clean sheet. Palmer's ball in. It's a poor one, away by Rigo. Coyle. Nicely done by Charlie Hughes. There's Ollie McBurney. 3-away, Matt. It's McBurney with a little flick from Crooks. There's Phillips again.
Coyle does really well to keep that ball alive when it goes back to him, and Charlie Hughes in an unfamiliar position on that left wing, but Cisse with his is very naive in the fact that he doesn't defend the situation properly, and Hughes picks the right pass, and McBurney finds Crooks, and unfortunately couldn't find the shot.
Away by Tolivierov. Suddenly the nerves are starting to jangle for Stoke. Hadzimetovic aims it in, Tolivierov away. Thomas is caught by Palmer, free kick.
And Thomas does well to draw the foul. Casey Palmer's not really convincing in his argument with the referee, so I'd probably suggest that he did win the ball before the man, as we'll maybe see here. So it's really good play from Sorbo Thomas.
I think Lamine Cisse is going to be replaced here. He is for Million Manhoef.
He's had a really good afternoon, hasn't he, Cisse? He's been so positive whenever he's got the ball, but Manhoef has got so much ability that the message to him would be clear: get the ball up the pitch and do your work in the final third.
And Thomas Rigo is replaced by Tatsuki Seko, who's missed just one match throughout the course of the season in the Championship for Stoke and is on for the final 12 minutes here.
Yeah, Rigo's done a really good job in that midfield. He's kind of controlled it along with Lawal and Bay in that 10 position, and now it's down to Seko to go on and just do the job that Rigo have been doing.
Passing around the supplements as well to get Stoke through these final minutes. Those weary old legs of Ben Gibson's need a little bit of a boost.
It's not all in the legs, you know, it's also in the head.
Whole free kick as Sam Gallagher tussles.
Gallagher's done well, hasn't he, since he come on?
Pandor just slips as he looks to pump that upfield. Lawal, who's been such an effective shield in front of that Stoke City back four this afternoon. He spoke towards the end of last year about even he doesn't know his best position just yet. He's played centre-half, he's played central midfield at Fleetwood and full-back in the last couple of games as well. Crooks.
We're just going back to Lawal there. He's been so imposing in there.
Here's Ndala. Hughes. Palmer. It's Casey Palmer! Oh, has it gone in? It might come back to McBurney, who goes down. Craig Pawson says no. But Hull City within a whisker of a spectacular equaliser. Meanwhile, at the other end, Sekou looks to set Bay clear.
Oh, Charlie Hughes finds himself in the left wing position. He just...
Palmer. Looking towards Akintola, who just slipped and allows Thomas to break clear. Manhoef, is he going to have the pace to keep that in play? Just about, and concede the throw in.
As I was saying, Charlie Hughes in that left wing position finds himself in an unfamiliar position, plays it across to Casey Palmer. He lets it run across his body so well, and he just lets it rip, doesn't he? And we think it's gone in, but as we're going to see here, it hasn't quite gone in. It's unbelievable. What a strike it was.
Well, he is still thinking about what might have been Casey Palmer.
Maybe that's the lift that they need, just to get the fans believing again.
Akintola just giving Ben Gibson a little bit of a nudge in the back.
The way he lets it run across his body is just absolutely brilliant. He lets rip and shoots. But McBurney is trying to buy a penalty there. I think he almost fooled me as well before, but Casey Palmer's effort, and that's why he's in the team now, is in that 10 position, and that's what he could do. He can get shots like that off and feed his players, and he's very unfortunate there.
Seko. Thomas. Thomas, Bay lets it run. Manhoef can finish it here. Palmer steps in to make the block. Hughes. Akintola, but there was the experienced head of Ben Gibson once again. Coyle's ball forward. Hull are pushing, and they still have 7 more minutes. And Darla the target. John Egan. As things stand, the 400th league start of his career is about to end in defeat. Man have just looked to buy one there off Joel and Darla. Crooks. Destan. Phillips just let it run through, and Tommy Simpkin came to claim.
Yeah, really good from Phillips there, just seeing that ball through to his goalkeeper and trusting the fact that his goalkeeper's going to come out and claim that ball.
Talavierov with a little kick up and a kick clear. Coyle heads down. Here's Manhoef. Away from Palmer. But runs into trouble. And Charlie Hughes. Still just the one shot on target, but that doesn't tell the full story as to how close Casey Palmer came to equalising in spectacular fashion.
Hull are just huffing and puffing now. They're just trying to play that diagonal a little bit too often, I'd say. But looking back at this effort from, the pass from Charlie Hughes is perfect, the weight of it. And Casey Palmer's running off, still celebrating even 5 seconds after it's hit the bar. And maybe it deserved a bit more, but he's very unfortunate, isn't he? It's an unbelievable strike. He's running away. As soon as he hits the ball, he knows as soon as it leaves his feet.
Akintola, is that a corner? No, goal
As
kick.
it leaves his feet, he knows he's in with a chance of going in, and he's running off, celebrating. But brilliant work from Sorba Thomas there, just getting back and defending for his team, which is what he's got to do now, because they're 1-0 up, and that's all they've got to do is hold on to that lead.
Well, the moment has come for experience, and there aren't too many older and wiser than Stephen Nzonzi. A Stoke legend back for one last go, and he's going to come on and replace Bosun Lawal, who has been superb this afternoon.
Yeah, Lawal's been absolutely fantastic, but there's no better player than someone to bring on of Stephen Nzonzi's calibre. He's such an elegant player, as well as combative throughout his whole career, and I'm sure he's got the nous and the experience to come on now and make sure they see this game out.
Not often in the Championship that you can throw on a World Cup winner to see you home.
I mean, this is where his experience comes in. He's got to be telling people around him, but not only that, whenever the ball gets broken down and falls to him in the transitions, he's got to make sure he's calm and makes the right decisions, and I'm sure that World Cup win will prove invaluable as well.
Would have the look of a man who's played in warmer climes than Hull on New Year's Day, though, Stephen Nzonzi.
He's not adverse to it, though, as he having played for the club before and been used to them cold Tuesday nights in Stoke.
Thumped up by Thomas. And for the most part, Stoke have seen it through pretty well, but the job is not quite yet done. Bernie's flick on, helped on a little further by Crooks. Gallagher, Manhoef. Got Sorba Thomas in a bit of space, but Manhoef's going to go alone here. It's Million Manhoef. Hughes gets the block in.
That's exactly what he's had to do since he's come on the pitch, just drive that ball up the pitch and take his team up the pitch, but Hughes defends it really well. The ball goes into Gallagher and he just makes a good decision, and Manhoef's really positive and makes sure he just forces the Hull player into giving away a corner there.
Well, now is the time for Stoke City to just protect what they have. And Sam Gallagher and Million Manhoef will try and play their own game in that corner.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do now, just run that clock down. They're into the last 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and Gallagher made it very clear, didn't he, when the ball went out for a corner, we're coming over and we're going to play it short.
Phillips header away, Palmer down, Phillips again. Bay looking for Thomas. Akintola. Hughes. Palmer. All hands to the pump for Stoke now as Coyle arrows one forward. It's flicked on by Ollie McBurney. Destan tries the acrobatic. Couldn't control it.
This is the sort of the only option that Hull have found themselves to have, is lump these long balls forward, and McBurney makes a nuisance of himself. Egan finds himself up there in the middle of the box, and I think it's last chance saloon where you've almost got to try these things. But Stoke have done really well this afternoon on limiting shots on their goal, and they're such a strong, experienced defensive team, aren't they?
Tommy Simpkin is taking his time. Is there one last chance to launch something for Hull? Slung forward by Hughes, McBurney and Zonzi with maybe just one crucial contribution, but there will be one last free kick for Hull to try and pump into the penalty area.
Yeah, last chance. It's a silly one from Gallagher, isn't it? It'd be frustrated at himself there for giving them an opportunity to put the ball in the box, and it seems like it'll be the last kick of the game as well.
Towards Destan and McBurney. Thomas away. Akintola forward. Crooks. Egan has stayed up. It's John Egan for Hughes. The two centre-halves combining. Palmer. Coyle. That will be it.
I mean, John Egan finds himself just outside the box on his left foot, but you're thinking just pull the trigger, and it comes back to Coyle probably 10 yards further out, and he decides to pull the trigger. I mean, is it the right decision? There's not really many options in front of him, so it's probably the only thing he can do, and it's more hopeful than convicting at the end of the day.
Still we play. Headed away by Coyle. McBurney was caught there. And Zonzi. Hughes. Mark Robins and Stoke City rediscover their touch on their travels. After 4 straight away defeats to end 2025, his team begin the new year with a vital away win to keep them right in the hunt for a playoff place. Tommy Simpkin came into the team for just a second Stoke City start to replace Victor Johansson, and played his part in a really good win, sealed by Robert Bozanic's first goal for the club. The Slovak forward was forced off in the second half with a shoulder injury. Hull City came perilously close to an equaliser as Casey Palmer's late effort cannoned back and down off the crossbar. But it is 3 vital points for Stoke. It finishes Hull City 0, Stoke City 1.